Is that a lightsaber in your robe? Or are you just happy to see me? Hello and welcome to Man Cave Media. On this channel I like to talk about beer, sneakers, tech, and toys. If you're new here, please feel free to hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell. Also, please connect with me on social media. I'm on Instagram at media.mancave and on Facebook and Twitter at mancavemediaorg. And finally, if you enjoy listening to podcasts, please check out the League of Sedentary Gentlemen. We're available wherever you get your podcast or direct from our website at man-cave-media.org. All right, I recently took a trip to the happiest place on earth and I grabbed some souvenirs that I've been dying to get my hands on. Let's check them out. Alright, so first of all, it's been probably about 12 years since I've been to Disneyland, so as a huge Star Wars fan, I had still yet to see Galaxy's Edge, and that was really starting to bother me. I was supposed to go back in 2020, but we all remember what happened back then in 2020, you know, the thing with the virus and all of that, and obviously that didn't happen. And so here we are 3 years later. I finally had an opportunity to go, and I gotta say they did an excellent job with Galaxy's Edge, with the Star Wars land. It was just incredible. But most importantly, there were some things in Star Wars land that I wanted to get my hands on for my office back here, and I'll start with the obvious: the lightsaber. Now, whoa, okay. So even though it is a bit pricey, I did decide to head on over to Savvy's workshop and do the build your own. I did the reservation ahead of time, which I do recommend, but when I was there, they did have reservations still available. So if you didn't have time, or, you know, last second trip to Disneyland and you didn't do the reservation ahead of time, you could probably just still go over there. But because it was crowded, there were no reservations left for the park that day. And there were still reservations available to do this. And so I chose Peace and Justice. And then these are the parts that I chose for my lightsaber. It's kind of a natural theme going on. Lots of wood, lots of bone. And overall, it was just a great experience. For my Kyber crystal, I chose purple because I also bought an extra yellow Kyber crystal, which actually kind of matches my theme a little better, but I really wanted a purple lightsaber, so I have one. Overall, the experience was really cool. They kind of sneak you into this room and they make it seem like the First Order is right outside the door and they can bust in at any moment and arrest all of us, and it was really cool. After you assemble the lightsaber, you know, Yoda, the voice of Yoda speaks, and it's just a really cool experience, very immersive experience. So if you haven't done it, I know it's pricey, but I do recommend checking it out if you can, because it is a very immersive and unique experience. So I had a lot of fun. But the lightsaber aside, there was another product that I really wanted. Oh, one more thing. One more thing. If you do the build your own at Savvy's, they give you the sleeve to carry it around with, which is pretty cool. Otherwise, if you buy one that's already made, you have to buy the sleeve separately. So it's pretty cool that they do that for you. They do have a wide selection of pre-made lightsabers that are also pretty cool. The main difference being you can't change the Kyber crystal. So whatever color you get, that's what you have. That's really the biggest difference. But anyhow, moving on. This product came from Oga's Cantina, which I also recommend that you do. It was really hard for me to get reservations for Oga's. They weren't available online prior to my visit. And I mean, I checked like a month before time. Like, I think they give you a time period where you can make reservations, and as soon as I was able to do it, I went to the website and the reservations were already gone. And so my dad and I just walked up, and I got lucky. It just so happens my dad's a pass holder there, and he goes probably 5 or 6 times a month, and everybody there knows who he is. And so we walked up and talked to somebody that he knows at Oga's, and they were able to get us a reservation. Don't try doing that. That's a very unconventional way for doing it. What you do if you don't have a reservation is you can do a walk-up, and if you go in the morning, it's pretty easy to do. Like, there was almost no line, and they have like a check-in system that you do in the app, and it's like a 30-minute wait, they said, for most of the day. And so it's, you know, it's still possible to get in even without a reservation. So anyhow, we did that. You know, we got into Oga's, and what I have here is the Rancor Teeth beer set, and it's a flight that you can get at Oga's that has all the different beers that they offer. It's a flight. It's a beer flight. And so what's cool about it is it's got a wooden plank, and the cups are made out of Rancor teeth. And I really wanted this thing, like, bad. So on the menu, it's called the Rancor Beer Flight Souvenir Board with 4 teeth. And again, it is a little bit pricey for what you get. It's $86, but if you're into beer and you're into Star Wars, it's a must-have, man. They only have 4 beers on tap, and so you get a sampling of each one. And the beers themselves, they're made from outside brewers, obviously, and I'll go over that list in a moment. But the beer is good, and the set is really nice. It was just something that I couldn't leave there without. But let's go ahead and get this out of the box so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Now, when you order it, you don't take the one that they serve you, obviously. They give you a new one in the box, which is also very nice, because if you go over to the droid depot where you do the build your own droids, they have a system in place where you can leave your stuff there and they'll hold it for you, and then you can come back at the end of the day and collect all of your stuff. So having them give you a new one in a sealed box is very good. Oh, styrofoam. Guessing these are the teeth. I really hate styrofoam. It gets everywhere, man. Like, everywhere. Just the slightest amount of static and this stuff just sticks to everything too. It's nonsense. So there's a good look at the wood plank that they give you in the set. It's really cool, man. And they're numbered 1 to 4. And it's got good weight to it, whatever they use to make it. It's got really good weight. On the bottom, it's stamped Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. And then it's got rubber feet under the legs. And like I said, I'm assuming these are the Rancor teeth. There we go. So these are really cool, man. When I saw a picture of it, I mean, there was no way I was leaving that place without a set. You can buy this online, obviously. I think without the beer and without the experience of going to Oga's, I think it still costs $80 though. So I'd rather go there and pay $86 and get the beer. And then, you have the experience, obviously. Of course, the cost of getting into Disneyland aside, right? Because, yeah, that's expensive in its own right. But they don't hold a ton of beer, but They are really, really cool, and it's a nice piece to show off, especially if you're a Star Wars fan. And they just sit inside the board like so. But they have a really good texture to them and a really good effect. You know, Disney does a great job with this stuff, and they really do look like teeth. They just do a really good job with these. They're made to fit a certain way, so you gotta spin them a little bit sometimes to get it to sit down in there. There's the fourth one. Yeah, so when you first put it in, when you first set it into the board, if it doesn't fit just right, you spin it around a little bit and then it just will settle in really nicely. Now, I'm sure the beer selection changes from time to time, but if you were to go right now, the beer that I got was Black Squadron Lager was the first one, and it's just a blonde lager. It was, it was okay. That's brewed by Delahunt. I apologize if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, but it's brewed by Delahunt Brewing. It's 4.8% alcohol by volume. And then they have a white Wampa Ale, which is it's a hef, and it was actually really tasty. And that's brewed by Ballast Point. And it has, so it says on the menu, it has a banana and citrus character. I really tasted banana, not so much the citrus, but it has 4.5% alcohol by volume, and it's brewed by Ballast Point. And that was a really tasty beer. Another one they have, it was my favorite for as far as naming goes, but they have a Bad Motivator IPA, which it's an IPA, so it's a little bit higher. It's got 6% alcohol, and it's brewed by Sierra Nevada, and that was really tasty. If you're a fan of IPAs, you'll like it. It's got that nice armpit aftertaste. I prefer IPAs, but they don't prefer me anymore. They kind of give me headaches now, so I kind of have to stay away from them. But it was a good IPA. And then the fourth one they had was Gamorrean. Again, I apologize if I'm saying this wrong. Gamorrean Ale, which is brewed by New Belgium Brewing Company, and it was a red, and it was really tasty. It kind of reminded me of Jeremiah Red from BJ's, if you've ever had that. It's got like a real caramelly aftertaste, and it was really, really tasty. 5.2% alcohol by volume for that guy, and on the menu it says it has a touch of grapefruit. I didn't really get a lot of grapefruit. I got the caramel. Like I said, it was a really good red beer. If you ever had Jeremiah Red from BJ's, it's very similar to that. So when they bring it out to you, just like any beer flight, they tell you which one's in which cup and that they're labeled 1 to 4. And then, like I said, after you finish the flight, when you're done and they bring you your check, they come and they take the one they gave you and they'll bring you a new one in the box. So very cool set. Like I said, if you're a fan of beer and you're a fan of Star Wars, this is something that you have to have on display if you have the room for it. It's just so cool. This not really something that I'm gonna use, like as far as like drinking beer from it, because I mean, look at these things don't hold really that much. If I wanted to entertain some friends and have them try a few different types of beer, maybe I would, lay it out in this, but I doubt it'll ever get used for that. It's gonna be a shelf queen, but it looks really cool, and yeah, I'm very happy to have it. So going back to the lightsaber really quick, I did mention I got an extra kyber crystal because I wanted a yellow one. So I wanted a purple blade just because I'm a really big fan of Samuel L. Jackson. But I also wanted the yellow kyber crystal because it kind of matches my setup better, and I thought it would look really cool to have the yellow one. So if you buy separate crystals, they come in a little container like this. And then if you've never seen one before, which I'm sure everybody has by now, they just look like that. They have a little LED inside. And they're really cool. I like that you could change them. It's a fair amount of work to disassemble the hilt of your lightsaber and change it out, but eventually I will, just for the experience, and because I want to see what it looks like yellow, because I think it's gonna look really good. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get some close-ups of this stuff really quick. All right, that's all I have for this one. Thank you again for stopping by. Please smash that like button if you enjoyed this video and help feed that algorithm. I hope you have a great afternoon. Like always, thank you for watching, and may the Force be with you.